Well, hi everyone, and welcome to Family Snacking. We are so excited you are here. Today we are going to be making an almond rice pudding, which is great for those times when you're craving more of a sweeter snack. And today I have here with me, as usual, my friend Hiba.
Hi, this is Hiba Playa. I work for Family Advocacy Program located at 10250 4th Armor Division, Fort Drum, part of ASAP building at Fort Drum. Today, I'm going to talk to you about changing unwanted behavior by changing the environment for parenting tips.
Awesome. I am so excited to hear more about that because I know we've talked a little bit and it can make a huge difference in your kid. So we're going to get started with our pudding before Hiba shares some more tips. I've got here 1 cup of brown rice. So you could use white rice for this recipe. I like using brown rice because it has a lot more fiber in it and a lot more nutrients, and because it's a whole grain. So if you can, brown rice is great. It will help keep you feeling full longer. But if you use white rice, I'll show you, it just adjusts the cooking time. Let me angle you down to look at my stove. So I'm going to add 1 cup of brown rice to this medium saucepan. See, it's about that size. And then I'm going to add in 3 cups of unsweetened almond milk. So it's important to use unsweetened because a lot of times if they have a lot of added sugar in there, it's just going to be too sweet. And we're going to be adding sugar a little bit later on. So here's my 3rd cup. And then we're just going to go ahead and bring this to a boil.
So we're talking today about kids' behaviors and how by changing the environment that could influence kids' behavior. When we talk about environment, there are different things we can do as parents to adjust that environment. And when it comes to environment, small, manageable changes can have a huge impact on your kids' behavior. Changing environment doesn't mean moving your house to another house or changing furniture. It also doesn't mean buying or getting expensive play equipment and so on. So what is a kid's environment? A kid's environment, it's the little things around your child. Those things could be different things, like location of your child. For example, the park, at home, or supermarket. Also, kids' environment could be the little things around him like toys, books, play equipment, and also other things you might want him to play with. Environment could be the sensation around your kid, like a quiet level or noise level. Also, environment could be the time of the day. Is it morning? Is it nap time? Or it's bedtime, dinner time, and so on. And also environment could be the way you request and instruct your child and expect him or her to follow those instructions or requests. So by making changes to those different things we talked about, we can definitely influence the behavior of your child. So what we can do, we can start with changing physical environment, and a good example of physical environment is home. So at home, what we can do, we can move all expensive, fragile items out of sight of our kids. So they will not mess with it, they will not play with it, they will not climb in order to get to it. And also it is important at home to make a quiet space for our kids to use when they feel overwhelmed. Put their favorite blanket or their favorite cushion or their favorite pillow with some of their favorite toy and have this quiet corner for them to go there when they feel overwhelmed. Also, it's a good note when it comes to this physical environment is to make sure that screen time is off. When you need our kids to focus on something like homework or getting things ready to school or having dinner. So when we don't have screens, we don't have any other things to distract them from doing what we want them to do. That is a good example about physical environment at home. Um, Also, when we go out, like let's say we go to the supermarket, it is important to choose the right time to take your kid grocery shopping. For example, avoid taking them to the grocery store when it's their nap time, because they will be crying, they'll give you a hard time, they'll be tired because it's their nap time.
That's great. And I know you had said before, it's not just the physical environment, but you've been talking about the emotional environment as well. It's like making sure that you give kids like one rule or one step at a time so they don't feel overwhelmed.
Yes. So I work with so many parents, and sometimes parents get frustrated because kids do not follow instructions or do not do things the way mom and dad wants them to do. So we can definitely change how kids emotionally feel about instruction by changing the way we ask them to do it. So we're changing the environment without changing the behavior. So for example, let's say you want to tell your kid to do something, right? So if you give them short, clear, and simple instruction, your kids more likely, with a calm tone, more likely will follow that and do it. And instead if you said it with angry tone or commanding tone, that will have a huge difference, because your child will know. They will know what expected of him or what expected of her. For example, you can say, please hold my hand when we cross the road. Sometimes kids feel overwhelmed, or sometimes they feel like they don't want to do that. They don't want to listen to this instruction. But if it's clear and short and sweet, they will more likely do it. But if it's long instruction, has so many details, more likely they will not follow it. Adding to that your voice tone when you're talking to them.
Yeah, that's great, and such an important tip for everywhere in a kid's life, and especially in the kitchen where you talked about there's more safety hazards. Perfect. So I don't know if you can tell, but my liquid is boiling here.
Yep.
So the next step, we're going to go and turn down the stove to low. So it's going to come to a simmer. There's going to be little bubbles, and we're going to cover it.
Nice.
Then we'll go ahead and set our timer for 30 minutes. And this is something, this part, as Hiba mentioned, this is going to be an adult task, unless you have an older child. But things like setting the timer, you can tell them we're trying to get up to the number 30, tell me when to stop, have them be involved this way. And then this next part is also going to be a part that your child can help with and will be a little more child-focused. So now we're going to put together the topping that is going to go on to our rice pudding. And you can customize this a little bit, and I can give you some ideas. So just got a measuring cup for mixing everything together in. But I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. You could add just normal plain white sugar as well. I just didn't have any. This will give it a slightly more molassesy flavor. And I actually don't like mine very sweet, so you'll see I'm not being super precise about it. I'm going to go kind of right below the level of a 1/4 cup. It's always easier to make it sweeter at the end than it is to take away sweetness. So I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and a 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. I should mention before, if you have any nut sensitivities or allergies, you can use plain 1% milk or another plant-based milk in place of the almond milk. And instead of using a 1/4 teaspoon of the almond extract, you can just omit it. That's no problem. Just gonna go ahead and give it a little bit of a mix. And then this will be stirred into the rice pudding at the end after the 30 minutes has elapsed. Then I will check back in with you all in 30 minutes and we can talk about next steps. So you can see This has really thickened up considerably. Give this a taste test now, make sure it's soft enough. And you can go ahead and add in the topping that we prepared earlier. Just give it a good mix. Again, this is a part you can have children help you with, scooping it in, just being aware that the saucepan is still very hot, so either wrapping it in a towel or transferring the rice mixture to another dish if you really want them involved and don't mind a few extra dishes. All of those could help. Just go ahead and mix it up, get all that yummy topping mixed in. Then for serving, I like to top them with a sprinkle of almonds, sliced bananas, frozen berries, an extra sprinkle of cinnamon. These would all be delicious. So I hope you go ahead and try this with your family and enjoy.